Hi guys, I just got to India and I wanted to start off this vlog because this is my first moments in this beautiful place. I'm freaking out. Finley's in the shower, and so I'm just gonna put this here and just sit down for a sec. Hello. So, first things first, how did we get here? We flew from Portland to Seattle, Seattle to London, London to New Delhi, just touched down in New Delhi. I slept a lot on the flights. Finley didn't sleep a wink at all. But we've basically been traveling for like 31 straight hours. So it's been the longest travel day of my life. I've never been overseas before, so this is like such an excursion for me. And let alone like getting the privilege and just honor to be able to do the tour that we're doing. We're basically following in Buddha's footsteps and going through his life path with a man named Shantam Seth. You guys can check out what we're doing at like buddhapath.com, and if you're interested in going for yourself in the future, that's what we're on. We're here with Finley's parents. They just went to their room, and Finn and I are just chilling here. It's like 3 a.m. New Delhi time, but I think it's like 4 p.m. in Portland, so I'm all out of whack. I've never been like so jet lagged and weird right now, but that's totally fine. There's a nude man coming in here. Hi, Bisher. You kind of look like Larry in the face, but maybe not as cute.
Maybe a little bit of a stinker there. You're a cute her. Yeah, lovely dog. Thank you for coming to say hello. I'd get your belly rub if you lay down.
Hi, Bishi.
Do you want the belly rub? He doesn't, yeah. The head of the army. And so on that side was the head of the government, and here was the army. You're so cool! Miss Smith-Eglin Hughes.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm ready to eat.
I'm ready to eat too. Yummy vegetarian
Yummy.
This is gonna be me.
This is gonna be me.
Do the one I like.
Hello. I met a cute dog today.
Yeah, we did meet a cute dog, but all of the people are telling us not to pet the street dogs because they carry disease, and Finley is, I don't care.
I say it's worth it. I'd rather get a disease than pet the dog. That dog was a freaking precious bingo, bro. Yeah.
I'm not tired. You're tired.
And then you know you have some all day. I'm very clever. I've only heard bits of the song and people's stories, and I don't know who makes it. I've only heard brief pure parts of it briefly.
Stop. Hi guys, so the first day. Oh.
What? Did I squeeze it 3 times?
Yeah, no. Okay. So the first day I was trying to do an introduction, but then you came out of the bathroom nude, and I had to stop.
So your bangs are a little fucked.
I know, they're always fucked. And I just wanted to quickly recap like where we've been and what we've been doing, just to keep you guys up to date, and also say hello, we love India, woo! We are right now in Varanasi, and we started off our trip in New Delhi. We got in on like, I think the 10th or something, after leaving the morning of the 9th, and we spent the the 10th till the morning of the 12th in New Delhi. Then yesterday we started the Buddha Path trip, and we've been doing that ever since, man. Yesterday we had like a super jam-packed day. We started off by going to kind of like a Gandhi memorial. We went to where he spent his last like 140-ish days of his life, and the garden where he got shot. We went from there to the Natural History Museum, and we were seeing a bunch of like beautiful like bronzes and sculptures and paintings. That was really cool. And then we went from there to a Sikh temple. I believe it has a specific name, I'll put it here. So Hinduism has like a caste system, and aside from that caste system, at the Sikh temple they let everybody eat. So they have like
I'm pretty sure Sikhs are different than Hindus. I thought it was a whole different religion.
It is a whole different religion.
India has a caste system, but the Sikhs in India would feed anybody regardless of their caste.
Yeah.
But the caste is something from Hinduism. I'm not 100%
I'm not 100% sure either. But it was very cool. We went to basically like see their kind of communal eating area. They don't even get freaked out when you don't wash your hands and then you're like handling food.
And everyone's
like
barefoot.
Yeah, everybody's barefoot and like preparing food for everybody, and they had these huge pots. Oh my gosh, it was crazy. So yeah, that was a really cool experience. And then we went from there to a woman named Bina's house, who is just like a friend of Shantam Seth, who's been taking us through the trip. And she made us just like this delicious meal at her home, and we were hanging out there, kind of slowly fading away. We had such a long day, and then we just went back to the hotel and passed the freak out. And then we woke up. We went on a flight from New Delhi to Varanasi. We're here now and just checked into our hotel, and we got these nice little necklaces. Today we're going to the Ganges River. Yes, I did pronounce that wrong. Okay, so it's the Ganges River, also known as the Ganga, and I was hearing Shantam Seth say the Ganga, assuming that I was saying Ganges wrong, and so I like meshed the two together. I quickly figured this out after going to the river. Just wanted to correct myself because I always get a bunch of comments when I say things wrong, okay? But if you guys know, it's like a very holy place, and a lot of people like to, I mean, there's days of like bathing, so they'll like celebrate holidays by going and bathing in the Ganges. Lastly, what I was going to say is that it's just so cool here. People of all religions come here, and there's a lot of just so much freaking life, brother, and beautiful garbs. I've just been like admiring all of the women's dressing, and it's really wonderful. I'm hoping to get some scarves at some point. Also, I wanted to show you guys these fun little clay mugs. They're so amazing, and basically any like Indian street cart that has given us tea has given it to us in these little clay cups that are like compostable if you throw them away, or well, we're just planning on bringing them home and planting little seedlings in them, and they're just so freaking cute.
Looks like a mill. They must mill all these big logs somewhere.
Yeah.
Wow. So I guess they still cut dimensional boards from these deciduous logs. It's kind of tough to do because they're not straight.
Yeah, I just saw the mill, or not the mill, but the yeah. No.
I just saw a dog pooping. How does that not shave them?
I don't know.
These are Asian evidence too.
देखिए ऐसे करके ऐसे छोड़ दीजिए हाँ
Hello friends, it's Valentine's Day in India right now for us, It's still the 13th in Portland though, which is kind of funny. We're like 13.5 hours ahead. We just had breakfast and we're leaving to go to, it starts with an S. Hold on.
Serendipity?
Yeah, we're going to Serendipity today. SARNATH. We're going to SARNATH today. For the rest of the day after breakfast. But I wanted to quickly just talk about yesterday on the Ganga River. It's the Ganges and the Ganga. They're intertwined, so either or you can say. That's one thing that I wanted to correct myself from saying yesterday.
Ganges yesterday.
Yeah, we basically like walked through the town of Varanasi and then went and got on a boat, and this young man was like the boat driver and he was just like leading us through and stuff like that. We were basically just like, you know, observing architecture, and Shantam Seth was like pointing out separate temples and identifying buildings for us and stuff. And then we started approaching this area that was like on fire in some places, and I was gonna ask what they were burning, but I told Finley this, like something in me just told me not to ask. And as we started approaching, Shantam started explaining that that's where they cremate people. And I'm sure that some of you know this, but like it's such a great honor to be cremated there. And so he was explaining basically what they do, and we just kind of like docked ourselves in the water and we were just watching. But I wanted to explain what they do because it was just such like a wild process to watch. Basically, like people will ship their bodies here in certain ways, like they'll drive their body here, well their family will, or they'll like come by boat on the Ganges to be able to be cremated there. And so we saw a boat come with a body and it was like covered in this beautiful like dressing kind of, they like decorate it with flowers and have like sheets over them and stuff like that. And so they like unload the body and it's all the men of the family are like carrying it. They dip it in the water and then they take it. I'm not sure what they do between like soaking the body and then burning the body. They didn't explain to us like what happens between that time. Maybe like prayers are said or they have their own little like ceremony elsewhere. But there's just like separate burn piles for all of the bodies everywhere. And it obviously takes like a very long time to burn a body, so at least that's what I've heard from like true crime podcasts. Maybe they leave it and they come back over the days. But once the body is burned, they take like the last remains, whatever was left over, and the eldest son in the family like wraps it in a cloth, and then they like drop it into the Ganga, and then he was like tossing sprinkles of water and like saying some, you know, blessings, and then they like collect all of the ashes and they do whatever the, you know, the family wants to do with the ashes there. But like it's just people choose to be cremated there, and it's like a great honor, and they'll put it in their will and stuff like that. This is another thing I want to say as like an observation. There's so much livestock just like roaming the streets, just like cows and pigs and so many stray dogs and stuff like that. And the livestock like does belong to somebody, but whether they're in heat or whatever, they'll like wander off to go and scavenge, or they'll like be mating and whatever. But when the cows are set to be milked, then they'll obviously be back with their owners. At the funeral pyre, there was like so many dogs and cattle there. It was crazy. And I saw this dog take like the cloth out of the Ganga of somebody's last remains, and he was just eating it. And I was like, holy shit. Like, that's crazy to watch. He's just like eating somebody's last remains. So I asked Shantam about it, and he was like, you know, death is it's not a big deal here. It's just like, this is the way of life. Like, that is, the dogs are just scavenging. They're just living their life. Like, that is their dharma to do that, you know? And none of the people are gonna be like, no, don't do that. Like, it's such a different culture than like what we experience in America, you know? But I'm excited to go into town today. We're apparently going to go to where they make cloth like this and spin and stuff like that. And so I'm hoping to be able to get some fabrics to take home, and yeah. So I'm freaking stoked, man. We're having a great time. I had a really interesting conversation with this woman in our group, our Sangha, today at breakfast about like cultural appropriation and how that's such a large conversation that we have in America about like what is okay and what's not. But when you come to countries like this, like the women want to immerse you in their culture. They want to dress you in certain things and put a bindi on your head and be able to just like, they want you to admire it with them, you know? And so we were talking about that and just how interesting it is. And I obviously get so many comments all the time about cultural appropriation if I have a certain like bronzed like Hindu god in my home, or like things that people send me as gifts. Some people will just like blindly comment some disgusting insult to me, and I'm like, can I not like admire this and have it in my home as like a beautiful thing? But that's just a separate tangent. I was just talking to her about that. This has been a long clip. Adios. Just reflecting.
The standard width of railway in the United States and so forth.
So friends,
Yeah, I think they are really.
so Buddha was known to want Banaras silk. That means that they must have woven the silk at that time. And what we think is the original Greek looms are probably like this. So he'll explain what these looms are and how they work.
It's all the game of counting of the threads. And the holes on the card, as per the countings of the blocks of the graphic, which help the machine to select it and lift it up. So it's all as per the pattern.
Go from the actual design to the control information on the
So like the graphic is there, so the countings here is done. He has to follow, maybe he select
The amount of
threads
time
and lift it up.
that it takes just to go over and finish the switching of the colors, you know?
It's truly overload.
Krishna and Radha.
We're in the toot-toot.
Don't toot on me.
Kishibashi, are you coming home with us?
Yes, because
She keeps sitting on
right
us.
on his lap.
Yeah.
She's like in
She keeps just falling onto us.
She's like a deer.
Yeah.
Look at it. Look at this.
Are you coming with us? Okay.
Did you take a picture of Chris and I?
Yeah. You have to go longer.
I can feel. हाथ से नहीं खाएगा ये हाथ से नहीं खाते हैं और आपको जान ये मत फॉर द फोटो के लिए फोटो वेरी क्यूट
Hello.
hello.
Do you want this one? This one.
Hello.
Yeah.
Saying take a picture and give money. They're mercenary.
Oh, really?
Picture like paisa means money.
Money, give money.
Not really. Don't encourage it.
Picture लेने का.
Nee. She wants to know why. Lila wants to know why they're doing it. So. Okay.
Now, when they take it off, then they can put it in the oven, you see?
I kind of splattered.
Yeah. Well, this is creating. We're just trying to create patties because
Is this what they use to burn?
yeah, fuel. They use it for fuel. They also use it as a bit of fertilizer, and it's got mild insecticide. It's very good for. Depends, of course, what the cow is fed.
Okay.
It's like what I did with my basu on my head.
The original version, 1993. About 2,000 years. Tonight. Again, another 5 years. Yeah, 5.
Twins had a
I mean, one of the reasons that my idea is take care of the problem themselves instead of the problem being able to change reality. It's a pretty fun one. It's way better than American slides. American slides always just like, I'm like, you know what I mean? Kind of a beautiful woman sitting in a bamboo grove. Wow, I'm getting a little zoom of you.
You love to get a big zoom.
No, this was just a small zoom, baby.
That's okay.
It was only 1.5. It looks better that way, the lighting does. Kitties! Baby, how do you like the park so far?
I like this part.
This is the most fun I've had since the farms. And
Killed off on a round today.
yes, we are like to be lone wolves. We went rogue. We paid 80 rupees to get into this park and sit under a bamboo grove. Kind of a beautiful woman under there, huh? Oh, I love you. What the crap is that, a tattoo on your arm? I'm doing a big zoom now, baby. I'm at 4.2 times. 420! I'm holding it pretty steady though. Steady.
This is the park we're at. Handu, Pokar, in Rajir.
I held it pretty steady that time, baby. Okay, I'm going out. Okay, signing off. I'm skiing.
Bushy dog. Bushy dog. This is my cow. What are you doing, Bushy, Bushy, Bushy? Hello. Hello, Mr. Fetticoat. Oh, okay. He did a quick sniff and said, I'll be on my way, thank you very much. Hello.
monkey.
Baby monkeys. kind of cool.
I know I do, because she can see stuff.
From screens. I think they're destroying our
I would not be surprised at all.
I'm joking.
Don't do it.
I know by now
The ground is much lower, but this area gets completely flooded in the monsoon. You don't even see the monsoon sort of underwater.
This whole thing fills with water?
Not inside, but outside.
Oh. Why are they spraying him? How are you feeling today?
Like I just took a nice pisser and...
Ew, baby!
What? It's just nature. Why don't you grow up? Are you gonna get on the boat or are you just gonna swim behind it?
I was thinking you could just swim behind it because you smell so bad.
I was gonna just hang onto the propeller and spin in circles behind it.
That's perfect. Perfect for you. Oh my god. You're crazy. The tree gods.
This is an old lawnmower? Wow, look at it. Amazing.
Hello.
Hello. Do you want to go to the bridge to Terabithia?
I don't know.
See this branch right here?
Uh-huh.
See all the holes in it?
Yeah.
It's just a hollowed out beehive, but hold on for a second till you see the bees. They're massive fuckers. See that?
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ, they're terrifying.
They're huge. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Can you get them on film, do you think?
No, it's too dark.
Damn it.
They can't see. What happened to your arms, you freaking friend? Somebody has hurt him. Did someone hurt you? Oh my god. Larry? Larry? I wish I had a snack for you. Somebody has claimed him. You found a new woman?
Oh, that's a little too much pressure.
She's stepping on your wiener, baby. Oh my god. Where are your babies? She loves to hug. Okay. Okay.
You have chocolate for me? Chocolate?
Look at the tip. And looks like this, that looks like the skin part. No. No, it probably is a tip.
Baby.
Hello?
What? We don't have any food, unfortunately. We could have come prepared, but we didn't. We didn't know we would be meeting somebody as cute as you. You are the 600-pound man.
They're little saggy titties.
Put them up. Oh, it's okay. This is the best day of my life. I don't think so. It's too small. He's just like, get down.
I'm a good. Oh, that
Take
one
me
has a
with
beard.
you. I'd like to go with you.
It's a mud board.
That's a couple of Fridays.
Now we're going to go
Nice goats.
into the city.
What is up, ladies and gentle dudes? I know that this vlog that you're watching right now is probably long enough. I just assume that you don't mind a long video as long as this was already long. You know, what's another 10 minutes that I talk or something like that. I got a lot of comments basically just asking for like general reflections at the end from my perspective of my trip to India and Nepal. Somebody said on my most recent main channel video, quick plug, I did an India and Nepal haul, so you should go and watch that if you're curious, the things that I bought on my journey. But yeah, somebody was like, can you do like an India recap video where you explain your overall experience and how you enjoyed it? And that's basically just what I'm gonna be adding into this right now. Overall, my experience was a good time. I went on like a pilgrimage basically. So we were following literally in the footsteps of the Buddha, like going to where he was born in Nepal and where he died, and visiting like so many different temples and meditating as a group. And like this was one thing I didn't anticipate happening, but we would travel by bus everywhere. And so we would spend some days like as much as 10 hours on the bus during the days. And so I was just like chilling, watching outside life happen from the windows and taking it all in. And I saw so many crazy things, honestly. I would say like my biggest struck, these were things that we were sharing in our group. I was traveling as like a 16-person Sangha, and Finley and I were the youngest people there. And so everybody was like over 50 in our group. And yeah, we would always have like a circle that we would share things that struck us during the day, whether it be stuff we saw out the window or things and experiences that we had on our own or in meditation or whatever. And that was probably one of my most favorite things about traveling as a group, was like everybody was having their own experience and then we would talk about it. And I feel like I got so close with that group of people, and they were like all my mentors in a way. And it was a good time. Also, I just have to quickly brag that Finley and I and this guy Roger in our group were the only 3 people out of 16 people who did not get sick on the trip. Some people got food poisoning. A lot of people got like asthma flare-ups from the pollution, or like developed colds that were just going around the bus. So I was like, yes. That sweet immune system, baby. But yeah, anyways, my biggest struck on the trip was when we went to Varanasi and we were going down the Ganga River, also known as the Ganges. Finally got that right. I know I said it multiple times wrong before we went, but I figured it out, folks. And we saw the funeral pyre there. Of course my camera dies just then. Not like I was saying anything important or anything. Jesus. But honestly, I don't really remember. I got like over an hour of footage on this excursion, so I don't know if I already went into depth on this vlog about what happens at the funeral pyre that I observed. But if I did, then I'll just edit this out. But that was one of my biggest strucks, okay? That was crazy. What else was my biggest struck? I guess like my highs. I'm gonna share my highs and lows. I used to do this in small group when I was growing up. My highs were the people that I met. Like everybody was so freaking nice, especially everybody on the trip with me personally in my Sangha group that I was with. And Shantam had, I guess like an assistant kind of, who was just like helping us throughout the trip, named Jagdish. And he was like such an angel, and he was always so down to answer any question I had. And I just love him. I miss him already. He had such a beautiful smile and was always so positive and would just like get everything done that needed to be done with a smile on his face. He loved his job, loved his life, it seemed, and he was just great. So I'm really happy to have met all of those people. And then also just like the local people in the villages, the children, the elders, the 2 guys that I met in Lumbini, Nepal. Yes, I already told this story in my haul that I uploaded on my main channel, but basically I have like a nice friendship bracelet to commemorate him. I think his name was Mehul Bahir, and if I'm butchering that name, then I'm sorry, Mehul. I don't, you know, it's hard. It's hard pronouncing names that you've never heard in your life, but I hope I did it justice, because he was such a sweet guy, and we just had coffee with him in his like merchant booth, I guess, and I got a dream catcher from him. And I think that that's probably one of the biggest reasons why I love Nepal so much, was because I had such a pleasant conversation with him there. And what else? I really loved as well Bodh Gaya. Oh shit. I probably shouldn't be saying shit about such a sacred place, but it was truly beautiful. That's where Buddha was said to have gotten his enlightenment, was under a Bodhi tree at this beautiful freaking temple that we went to that you guys have already seen in this vlog. I'm gonna put like all of the locations that we went to under the clips. if I can remember, obviously, but if I can't remember, then this is exactly where we went. We went from New Delhi to Varanasi, to Bodh Gaya, to Nalanda, to Vishali, to Kushinagar, to Lumbini, Nepal, to Shravasti, and then went to Lucknow, and then we went from Lucknow back to New Delhi, and then all went on our ways. And the entire trip took like 14 days, I want to say, but I was there for 18. Well, traveling for 18. Frick, what else was I going to say? Oh, I was talking about Bodh Gaya. I love that place. It was so beautiful. That was one of my favorite temples that we went to because it was just insanely architecturally just magnifique. And also there was just so many. This was another struck, okay? As you can see, I have a lot of them. I also have a hair in my mouth. There was so many people worshiping Buddha in their own ways and culture. Like there was so many different groups of people there from different sectors of life coming just to worship the Buddha or learn more about his life. And also Hinduism is the biggest religion in India. So to see so many people there to like learn about the Buddha was wild. I was just one of them, you know? But when we were at that temple in Bodh Gaya, I wrote this down because I was truly, my mind was blown at how many people were there to worship. There were Thai people, Vietnamese people, Sri Lankan people, Koreans, Tibetans, Burmese. It was crazy. And the temple was called Mahabodhi. It was beautiful. So I would say, if you're going to India, freaking go and make a trip to Bodh Gaya because that was one of my favorite places. And Varanasi was really cool too. I really loved going and like seeing the funeral pier and just walking through the town and stuff like that and seeing the life happen around us. And then, okay, so that was like my highs. I had a lot of highs, honestly. I have probably more to add, but for the sake of time, I'm gonna keep it short and sweet, all right, and move on to my lows. There were some wild lows for me there. Mostly because I was so deeply blown away at the amount of trash that's like just left on the streets. And that's for a whole handful of reasons. Shantam was basically explaining to us that there's like a caste system in India still happening, and people of a certain caste are the ones who are like the trash cleaners, the ones who are supposed to keep the streets like cleaned up and whatnot. But it's such like a deeply looked down upon task that nobody wants to do it. And so nobody does it. And that's why all of the trash like piles up. And when you go in and look at what is there and what's not decomposing, it's like chip bags and a bunch of styrofoam plates or foil and all these things that you get for like food convenience, kind of like single use. And yeah, that was definitely really overwhelming for me to accept, like truly see it, like see the amount of trash that like the demand from places like my country here in the United States, like how much we demand and how much our consumption hurts other places and how it trickles into other places. And it's not just India. I want to make that clear. Like it is not just India that looks like that. It is the entire world has issues like that, you know? In some places it's just more concentrated. And also I'm completely not trying to say that all of India is like that. I was just in the places that I was, and it was very concentrated in those areas to be very like trash, you know? There was so much of it on the streets, and especially when we were like in the bus all the time, we would just see it a lot. But I'm sure that there's definitely like cleaner areas, and in neighborhoods it's not like that. Some parks are not like that. And people told me that like a lot of southern India is a lot more like farmland and super green and forests and all these separate things. But we weren't really in too many forests during our excursion because the trip was like pre-planned for us, you know? So that was also something that was like hard for me at times, was being on like somebody else's schedule and not being able to just like go off and like hang out with the guys that we met in Nepal because we had to go and do separate other things with the group, you know? So I always loved having, like I cherished my free time, but it was also really good for me to like travel in a group of people and like take other people's needs obviously into consideration and not freaking just think about myself. And yeah, what else? Oh, the streets. Oh my God. Craziness. To me, craziness. But for them, it's just normal, you know? Nobody would abide by the lanes. Like everybody's just weaving in and out. And people literally have painted on the backs of their cars, "Please honk." And like that's insane for me to see, because honking is seen as like kind of a rude thing to do where I live. And it's normally followed by like a you, or like a what the hell, man. But everybody was just honking it up on the streets, and like that was wild to hear and see. And what else? Oh, okay, I wanted to say this because I generalize this as like just an India thing, but it is not just an India thing. These are in multiple places. I just had never been overseas before, so I'd never seen them before. But toilets that you just like put your feet on and squat over, they're not like a bowl that you sit down on. A lot of the places, like the public toilets, are just like squatting kind of areas. And I thought that that was just an India thing, but I'm pretty sure they have them in like Morocco and like a bunch of other places in Asia and like just a handful of other places, man. And yeah, there's like a bucket of water next to it that you use to like rinse out what you did to get the stink away. And yeah, that was crazy. I'd never seen anything like that before. And every time we would have like a toilet bowl to sit on when we would go back to our hotels, I was like, damn, this shit is tight. Also, I wanted to say that you should be aware if you're traveling to India and you don't live there, that you can't drink the tap water like the locals can. We, on the trip before we left, Shantam made it very clear that he was going to be just like giving out water bottles every day of clean drinking water for people, which I completely understand, but I don't use plastic drinking bottles. You know, I have my hydro flask. I love her like my child. And so we were determined going there to like be able to see if we could figure out how to just fill our hydro flasks in our camelbacks every day and just use that water supply. And it is possible, my dudes, okay? So you can totally do that if you go to India and visit there or Nepal or just wherever you can't have clean drinking water for yourself. We brought a camp filter, like a water filter that you use for camping. And whenever we saw like tap water, we would fill up a cup and then pump the stuff through the water filter and fill up our camelback and fill up our hydro flask and then have that water supply for like the whole day and then just refill it wherever we ended up next. And also some hotels had like RO, reverse osmosis systems, and so did like all of the airports and stuff. And so it was easier than we thought to access the drinking water and do it the way that we wanted to and not just have to like throw away a bunch of plastic water bottles every day. Although India, Shantam said this multiple times, is like a reuse economy. So everybody is gonna get and use those plastic water bottles for whatever they need to anyways. I would see multiple people on the side of the roads like sifting through trash to see what they could take and reuse over and over again, which I think is a wonderful mindset to have, like before something goes into your trash can, like, what can I use this for, you know? So I was so amazed at how innovative people are and the things that they were using and like old cow plows. I just loved watching people live their lives from wherever I was observing from. And everybody was just really nice and friendly. And I miss the kids that I met in the villages and stuff like that. I just realized how long I'm talking. It's been a hot minute, okay? I obviously have a lot of reflections from this trip, but mostly that I learned so much, okay? Whether it be socially and like from traveling in a group and seeing all these different ways that people live and truly immersing myself in their culture and stuff. And then also just, I learned so much about Buddha. It was crazy. It was like being in school again, you know? We would have like long talks every day where Shantam would like share a lecture basically about stories of his life and the people that were there and why the place that we were at was of any significance. And I just feel like I have this like well of knowledge about Buddha in my head now. So that's nice. I learned so much. So I would say if you are interested in learning more about Buddhism and the Buddha's life in general, because that's truly what it was a recounting of everything, then check out buddhapath.com, baby. Go on the PayPal pilgrimage, go on whatever you want. I'm not forcing you to do anything, but if you're interested in that kind of stuff, definitely go and get after it, okay? It was great. Shantam's great. He's a great teacher. And if you're not into Buddhism, then I would say just go and visit India and just be there and go to certain places that I went that I suggested if you want to, and if not, make your own trip and have it for yourself, man. I know that at the same time that I was there, my friend on YouTube here, Hitomi, she was in Rishikesh. Hitomi and I have actually never met, but it was crazy that we were in India at the same time. She was like 3 hours away from me though, so couldn't get to my bay. But yeah, I have heard that Rishikesh is wonderful, very lovely, so maybe go there as well. Go to the villages, man. That was like some of my favorite times that I had, was going and seeing how people lived and how they use everything for everything, like cow poop they turn into patties for fuel. It was just a wild time, man. I learned a lot, so I wanted to just kind of share everything I learned and my experience and whatnot with you guys. I feel like I still have so much to say, but I'm gonna save it for a rainy day, okay? I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching my India vlog. I also wanted to say I have some hoodies available. Not these hoodies, these are done selling, the Stay Smiling ones. But the Bunch of Sunflowers hoodies and crew necks are available until March 14th, I believe. And I'll put the link here so you can go and visit that, or it's in the down bar, okay? So go and get yourself a little crew neck, a little hoodie for the chilly nights. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. I love you. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already. Ring the notifications bell if you would like to be notified when I upload. And until the next upload, stay smiling. Bye guys.
He doesn't know